could count on you. I thought we had a deal. I gave you all I had. Put you in front of friends. It was me and you, for it was one of them. I introduced you to them. I should have seen it then. It was never about me. It's what I could do for you, what you could get about me, who I could introduce you to. I knew the truth, still there was nothing I would do for you. A fool for you. You break my legs, still jump through hoops for you. I thought we had a deal. 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 It's hard to let you go when I'm still holding on. Said I should leave you, I don't need you, should be moving on. This shit is stupid hard, and I ain't ready for it. Said I should leave you, I don't need you, I ain't ready for it. They weren't there for it, no, they weren't there, were they? They weren't there when she despaired to have her prayers working. She wanted to die daily, and I was 9 maybe. I'm on the couch with mom, talking about don't cry, baby. We'll be alright, baby. Yeah, we gon' make it through. I'm scared to death inside, but I know I can't let it through. I ain't know where to turn, I didn't know what to do. You gave me hope when there was none, I owe my life to you. I thought we had a deal.
Leave me not ready to let you go. Let you go. I'm begging, don't leave me. Take anything you want, everything if you want it.
You gave my life purpose before it had any. You gave me courage when I didn't have any. We were the best of friends before I had any. I gave you all I had. You turned your back to me. You set a trap for me. I never seen it coming. You had me blind to if I didn't want to feel you numb it. You left my life a wreck, and I hate you for it. I'm still in love with you, and I hate you for it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to St. John Live on this Monday night. My name is Mike St. John. I am in long-term recovery. My sobriety clean date's June the 1st, 2016. I've been gone for 2 weeks, but we're back. We got some big things happening, man. Grateful to be back. I missed you all, man. I'm going to give some shout-outs here to my sponsors. One Stop Phone Shop out of London, Kentucky, 606-657-2750. Check them out for all your electronic needs, laptop, iPads, whatever. They do it all. Adam Larkin with Get Live Apparel. Check him out, getlive.com. Got some awesome recovery apparel, man. If y'all don't care, man, hit that share button, man. We got too many people dying out here, too many people suffering from drug addiction, alcoholism, stealingism, Xanaxism, whatever, man. Post your sobriety clean dates. Let us know where you're watching from, and we'll get mine locked in here out of Richmond, Kentucky. And let's see. We got help available, man. If you're out there struggling, you run across this video, you've got a family member struggling, send them a private message. Don't blast them out in the comments or nothing like that, man. But help is available. My number's on the screen, 859-300-1503. A huge shout out to Protea Behavior Health Counseling out of Somerset, man. We've got some big things coming up, man. Some huge doors is opening. Protea is the new way of recovery coming, man. They offer tremendous, excellent services. Some awesome people. They also got Protea Auto Mart in Somerset, Kentucky. Bad credit, no credit, it don't matter. These people are willing to help you. They're in the helping business, man. Check them out. Also, Protea 360 Recovery. Also, just great group of people, man. Me and my wife's had some major changes come up, man. I'm no longer with the Hope Center. I took a leap of faith, and God has got me, man. God has opened up many doors, put us in position. I want to thank everybody that reached out to me, that congratulated me, or, it's hard going through change, man. I've been with the Hope Center since 2016, and I had to take a leap of faith, and I stepped down, and my wife is doing amazing things here in Richmond, Kentucky, man. Hopefully August the 1st, God's willing, we'll be opening up the Jasmine's House. It is an IOP, OP, counselors. It's a recovery home. There's a difference between sober living and a recovery home. And sober living, you come and you pay rent and you get a job, and that's it. Some recovery homes don't drug test. I don't know the mission behind all that, man, but our recovery home, or my wife's recovery home, is a little bit different. You know, when I came out of treatment, I didn't know how to live, didn't know how to be responsible, didn't know how to do nothing. My family was done with me, man. Nobody, I had no friends, man. But you know, this here's a little different, man. This is kind of structure you back into life, man. Let you work. You can bring your car. You know, just teach you how to live again, man. So check out Protea, man. That's help's available. We got beds open right now, man. Call me, call my wife, send us a message, send my wife a message, man. We can have you a bed tonight, period. Whether you're in jail, whether no insurance, we can get you insurance, man. Listen, recovery is possible. I was hopeless 6 years ago, man. My wife was hopeless 6.5 years ago. And today, you know what I'm saying? We're productive member of societies, man. We're hope shots. It's just been crazy, man. You know, I went to a recovery rally over the weekend, and Tony Barrett, Recovery Montgomery County, put on a huge wrestling against addiction. And, you know, I took my little boy, Corbin, man, and we had a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like we choose to recover out loud. Like, you know, back in 19, whenever, when all this come out, anonymity was a big thing. But listen, we're losing too many people dying. And I will recover out loud. My wife recovers out loud, and our guest tonight, man. You know, he recovers out loud, and we got a powerful story tonight, man. And I'm super proud of him. I'm going to give some shout outs here. Let's get in these comments, man. So who's all in here watching? Like I said, hit that share button. We got 32 people, 35 people on here right now. Hit that heart button, man. Let's get this thing going. Sally Devine, welcome. Megan Deshay, welcome. Lisa Marie Reed out of Indiana. Mr. Rob Fields, Protea Strong, man. Yes, sir. My nephew, let me give you a little shout out here to my nephew Quincy Croucher in the comments, man. Let me tell you a story, man. This boy has saw me in my addiction. He saw me at my worst. He saw me with a needle in my arm, man. He saw everything, man. And he always had a thing for a microphone, always. And he would run around the house broadcasting sports and doing this and doing that. Man, he just accepted a job. He sent me the text right now. I guess it's his whatever he signed, but it is official. He took a position at WYMT Mountain News over in Hazard, Kentucky. The dude has got a voice and a mind, man, for broadcasting. And an apple don't fall far from the tree. You know, he put a microphone in my hand, I shine, and he's shining, man. But Quincy, I love you, man. I'm proud of you. We got Anthony Brodus in here, AB Live and Uncensored. Recovery, CJ Dillo. This is going to be awesome. It is, man. I'm excited. Paul Martinez, what up? 1,135 days clean. Awesome, Paul, from Quincy, Washington. Got my wife, the boss. She's the boss today. Marie St. John, 12/8 of 15, Richmond, Kentucky. CJ Dillo out of Moorhead, Kentucky, 3/19/21. We got Oxford House in the house, Clarksville, Indiana. Joshua Hatfield, 8/28/15. Proud of All In Recovery, boy. All In Recovery. Denzel Hall, Isaiah House, 7/8/16. Caitlin Robinson, 11/15/19, Richmond, Kentucky. Josh Jenkins, I see you, boy. 3/17/20. I love you too, man. Matt Allen, Protea Strong. Yeah, buddy, that's my dog right there. Same clean date, huh? We come from the ditches, and now we're up here shining. Lucas Aaron McFarland, show at St. John's Show, baby. Hey, I'm going to show out. You hear me? Quincy Croucher. Olivia Reyes. Megan, let's see. Hold up. My comments are going crazy here. We got mail beds available in London at the Structured House, 606-224-7488. Listen, y'all, help's available. Jonathan Silver, Stone Cold 316. 327/18. Jen Wolf, I see you. We love you too. Who else we got in here? Erica Emerson, 5/25/21. Listen, y'all, hit that share button, man. Let's get this out. I'm just grateful to be back, man. Like I said, we got a lot going on, and hopefully I won't miss another Monday night, man. But I'm glad to see y'all for real. So let's get this thing started, man. I'm gonna bring my guest on here. What up, Rob?
Hey, what's good?
What's going on, man? Glad to have you on here, man. What's happening?
Hey, I appreciate it. Listen, I just got back from the Bahamas. Spent 2 weeks on vacation. An addict, a junkie like me, with a needle in his arm for 13 years, bro, on a cruise ship in international waters. Like, let me tell you about that.
That's what we do today, man, huh? We can go places.
Right, freely, right? I will tell you this, though. If you are not comfortable with alcohol, do not get on a cruise ship. There's a lot of alcohol. But, hey, kudos to Carnival. I'm going to shout them out, actually. They had AA meetings on the cruise ship. I didn't even think about that when I got on and booked that
They
vacation.
did?
And bro, I was excited, man. It's nothing like we have here in Kentucky. Everywhere works a little bit different. But man, like to have the availability for an AA meeting in the middle of the ocean was pretty dope. I thought it was pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So did you just celebrated how many years?
3 years. My sobriety date is 3/20/2019. 1,216 days to be exact. I do that. Actually, listen, I still count my days. I know a lot of people say once they get sober, they stop keeping count of their days. Bro, I keep count of my days because the reality of it is like I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to be alive. I don't deserve today. If you look at my track record, if you look at my history, I should be sitting in a prison cell or I should be 6 feet under. But by the grace of God and this program, God saw something different for me. And so I keep track of that, bro. 3 years, that's a big deal. But, I don't really keep count. I'm just keep real. I don't want to lie on camera. They got an app for that, bro. It tells me how many days. Okay. But I did check it. Got on here.
But let's share a little bit of your story, man. I've never heard your story, and I think it's going to be pretty inspiring, a good hope shot, man. So just 30 minutes, 35 minutes, man, whatever. I want to hear your story. I'm excited. Let's go.
So off the bat, I just tell people this. God's a big part of my story. I'm a grateful follower of Jesus Christ. I'm a man of God today. Was not always like that, but I talk a whole lot about that. I don't sit in the war stories very long. We've all been there. If you're watching this, you've seen them, you've witnessed them, you've had them yourself. We can trade war stories all day, but I don't want to hear the war. I want to hear the victory. Like I want to see what happened from it.
Yes, sir.
So a little bit about myself. 32 years old, born and raised in Lexington, Kentucky. Still currently live here. I had a really great childhood growing up. Back in the early 90s, my dad worked for Coca-Cola and made really good money. My mom was a stay-at-home mom to me and my little brother. I have one younger brother who is 3 years younger than me. And we were a huge Southern Baptist family. Hardcore Southern Baptist. Like I'm talking like books on the hymn books on the back of the pews. The choir wore the robes. We went to church 5 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and choir and service and volunteer. And we were a big church family. I'm also Italian. So if you know anything about Italians, we are a big family and we are a loud family. So I have a huge family and, we're just super, we grew up super Southern Baptist. So growing up, I got told early on what to believe, how to act, who to be. And it embedded a lot of core beliefs in me at a young age about who I was supposed to be when I got older. That I struggled with that for a long time. So childhood was great. Can't complain. I got everything I wanted. We weren't rich, but we definitely got what we wanted. And, my life really started about the age of 14. I knew something was different growing up. And I just knew that I wasn't fitting the mold of how I grew up. And at the age of 14, I came out as gay. And in my family, being Southern Baptist and Italian, that was a no-go. It was not acceptable. I was pretty much excommunicated from the church. Not necessarily excommunicated, but I was bullied so hard in church that like, who wants to go to church and feel bad about themselves? Like
right.
I felt worse leaving church than I did going to church. So I just stopped going. And I came out to my mom when I was 14 and she pretty much, she disowned me, but she really didn't know how to act. So for 3 months, my mom didn't speak to me. Every day I come home from school, I'd have Bible verses on my bed, and she didn't speak to me. And I didn't tell my dad because it was kind of awkward. And about 3 months in, my mom came around and he was like, we'll work through this. We'll get together. And my mom is my biggest fan, my best friend. So this is where everything starts for me. So growing up, I was really popular. I was involved in sports. My dad taught sports. I did basketball, t-ball. I mean, gosh, I can't even tell you every sport I did. I had so many trophies as a kid. It was crazy. And I was loved by a lot of people. I was pretty, I guess you could say, like popular per se.
Right.
And when I came out at the age of 14, everyone disappeared. No one wanted to hang out with me. All my guy friends were weirded out by it. So they stopped being around me. Everyone at school started to make fun of me. And I went from being this like super involved kid to being isolated from everybody. My family wouldn't speak to me. Nobody would talk to me, and I felt alone. And so at the age of 14, I turned to alcohol. I had my first drink at 14, E&J brandy with Dr. Pepper. Oh, I still taste it to this day, and I hate it. That was my first drink, and I experimented a little bit with pot. At this time, I'm in high school, though, and I'm a really good student. I'm a straight A student. You know, my mom's doing pretty good. And at the age of 16, I come out to my father, and he did not take it the same way. He stopped talking to me. And a year later, when I was 17, my parents got divorced. I don't blame myself for their divorce. They had some issues going on, but I definitely feel like I was a catalyst in it because my mom had known for so long and my dad didn't know, and it caused arguments between them. And so my dad and my mom get divorced at 17. And not only do they get divorced, but my dad signs all rights over. He has no parental rights because he doesn't want to pay child support. And at this time in my life, you know, I'm in the marching band and I'm in the choir and I'm a straight A student and I'm on the varsity swim team. And I had a lot of good things going for me. I got a scholarship to UK for swimming in 2008 and went to the University of Kentucky in 2008. And at this point in my life, I struggled because my dad wasn't super close with me growing up. So I struggled with like acceptance of men, especially like I never learned how to change a tire, and I never learned how to be like the man of the house. Like my mom pretty much raised us. So I had a lot of resentments towards my father. I had a lot of resentments towards God. I had a lot of resentments towards people in general for just making fun of who someone is. And so I go to college in 2008, and I go to the University of Kentucky. And, you know, what do you do when you go to college, right? Like join a frat. So I was like, all right, let's join a frat. That sounds cool. That's what college kids do. And I start going to these frat parties and start going to these keggers. And I'm at a frat party and I get introduced to meth for the first time. One of the guys I'm with gives me some meth, and I was off to the races, boy. Like I was Superman. I'm telling you, I was working 2 jobs. I was going to school. I was, you know, teaching a high school dance team. Like I was doing all these things, and I felt like I was unstoppable. People started to like me again. I'm a naturally upbeat person as it is, so you can only imagine when I got on meth, it was insane. And that's the first time I did a hard drug per se. I experimented with alcohol, experimented with marijuana, and I did them on the weekends, but it never really became like an issue until I got to college and tried meth. And that's where it just shot down, bro. Within 6 months, I dropped out of school. I was shooting up with a needle less than 6 months after using. And I catch my first big boy charge of possession of meth and possession of paraphernalia and a DUI. I'm on my way home to my mom's house. I'd been up for about 11 days and I passed her street. And, you know, I like turned into someone's driveway, like do a little turnabout, you know, back up, come back, go back to the street. And I guess when I turned into that driveway, I looked down at my phone and I passed out. And next thing I know, the cops are breaking in my window and they find all the meth on me and I go to jail. Never been in trouble, never been to jail. Good kid, good student. And so I go to jail first time and I'm in there for about 2 weeks. And I finally end up getting bonded out and they give me diversion drug court. So Fayette County Drug Court diversion, which basically means if I complete drug court, my record's expunged and I'm good to go. First time being in trouble. So I entered drug court the first time I'm 19 years old. And you can't tell me nothing, bro. Like, I don't have an
No.
issue. Like, what's an addict, bro? Like, I'm not an addict. Like, I just
Yeah.
got caught one time, right? And this is my first introduction to the recovery community, man. Like, they're requiring me to go to these meetings and get a paper signed. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So I practice forging signatures. They're telling me that, try this way of life. And I'm like, this is a cult. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm 19 years old. Like, I got this, like, this isn't an issue for me. Sorry, my dog's being annoying. It's not an issue for me. So I go through drug court first time, complete 18 months, no issues, no sanctions, no issues, did everything good. I'm 21 when I graduate. And the director comes to me on graduation day and she says, Rob, I'd be dumb to think you're not going to go drink. And I was like, you're right, because my ID's horizontal now. Like, I'm going to the bars, man. So day of graduation, I'm at the bar drinking. And at this point at life, right, I got enough recovery in drug court to understand, like, drugs are bad, but alcohol's not bad, right? Like, meth's bad, heroin's bad, pills are bad, but alcohol, like, people function, they drink. So that was my mindset at 21 was, as long as I don't do drugs and I just drink, I'll be good. So for the next 3 years, I'm a straight alcoholic, bro. I drink every night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm at the clubs, recovering Mondays, taking a few sips on Tuesdays. Like, I started to become this functioning alcoholic where I was still working, but I was miserable.
Yeah.
And I did not know that I was suffering with a disease on the inside. I thought that this is what normal 20-year-olds went through. And so I'm starting to get in a little bit more trouble. I get another DUI, and people are starting to, like, be a little bit concerned, like, hey, you're probably drinking too much. And at the age of 24, I meet this guy at a bar, and he introduces me to heroin for the first time. And I struggle with acceptance of men, and I struggle with acceptance of people in general because everyone left me as a kid. So if you wanted to be my friend, I grasped to that. I was like, oh man, like, someone wants to be my friend. What do I got to do for you to like me? And if it meant doing drugs, I guess I'm doing drugs. So at 24, I started doing heroin. And it's off to the races again. I loved it. It was just like meth for me, except, I felt up for a little while, and then it brought me right back down. And I felt like, this was living. This was life.
Hey, let me interrupt you for a minute, man.
Yeah.
Annie, I know you're listening. Listen, I don't care if you drunk this morning or you're drinking right now. Listen, stay here and listen to this meeting, man. And if you want to contact me and my wife when we get done, or anybody in these comments, listen, you're welcomed here. You're the most important person in these comments tonight, and I'm grateful that you're watching. There's no judgment here, but just listen closely to this message because I know you can relate, and maybe something me or him can say. Maybe you'll take that leap and say, hey, I need some help. But you're welcome here. Do not exit the screen. We want you here with us. My bad, Rob. Go ahead.
No, hey, my people, your people, like this, I support. If you're high, come on. Like, there's no game. Listen, before I get into the story, it's something I used to always say, people judge us for our addiction, right? Like, they always look down on us. And, I start telling people that I'm an addict, and their immediate response is like, oh, I can't trust them. They're bad people. They're horrible. And go to a meeting, because when you walk in that meeting and you say I'm an alcoholic or now I'm an addict or whatever you want to identify yourself as, you'll be showered with love and you'll be given a hug. And if I was there right now, Annie, I would be giving you a hug because I'm like a big teddy bear. So I started doing heroin, man. And this is kind of where my life goes into shambles. And I'm not going to stay too long because I want to get to the solution. So for the next 4 years, I'm a straight heroin junkie. $400 a day. Doesn't matter what I have to do. Black tar heroin. If I have to do meth, I'm doing meth. Honestly, what you got, I want it. Like, it didn't really matter what the drug was at the time. I preferred heroin, but it doesn't matter. And those 4 years were crazy for me, man. I was a male stripper. I sold my body for drugs. I robbed and cheated anyone I knew. I robbed my family for 10 grand straight cash. I used to go to family functions if I was even allowed, and I'm stealing stuff out of their bathroom. Like I thought that I was invincible and like no one could tell. And like, listen, I'm a $185 right now, and in active addiction, I was like 100 pounds, and you can't tell me like dope, sick, sexy, bro. Like no one knew I was high, right? Like, man, I look back at those photos and I'm like, how did I think that was normal? Like, how did I think I looked good? So, the big part of my story here's what kind of helped. So, in May of 2018, my family's finally done. My mom had given up, my brother had given up, everyone in my family hated me. They loved me, but they didn't like me. And I had really burned every bridge possible. I totaled 3 cars within 30 days, falling asleep at the wheel of heroin. And my family they were done. So they packed me up, put me in some trash bags, and said, don't come back. And for the next 3 or 4 months, I'm living on the street. And I bounced from hotel to hotel, and I boosted from stores to get money for hotels and drugs. And some of the people watching know me from those times. And it was a really dark place in my life. I had no self-worth. I was drowning in self-pity. Honestly, like, had you given me a gun, I probably would have ended it. Yes. And I hate that, but like, I had no purpose in life. I felt like I was just a zombie walking with no purpose. And I need purpose. I need something to look forward to. So I'm homeless. I'm living, I don't know if you know anything about Lexington, but over on Pimlico Parkway, used to be a Rite Aid right next to Caddy Shacks. And so what I did was one night I was walking around and I noticed that the ladder to the roof didn't have a lock on it. So that's what I did is at night I'd climb up to the roof and I'd sleep on the roof right between these 2 air inductors. And during the day I'd come down and get half-lit cigarettes out of the McDonald's ashtray, and I would go about my day and trying to figure out how to get drugs. And then, sleeping in the rain, sleeping on a roof. And like, I thought that was cool. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but that's where my addiction led me to. And so when my family was done with me, my mom did not cut my cell phone off. She actually kept my cell phone on. She paid for it. And, all those times when I was like super methed out, looking out the window, thinking somebody's watching me, looking through the peepholes, feeling like there's someone around, like low key, my mom was watching me and tracking me on my phone. Right. Wow. And so in July of 2018, every single day, my mom is sending me these things about rehab. She won't talk to me. She won't answer my phone call. She won't give me any money, but she's sending me links about rehab. So finally, she sends me this link about the Isaiah House. And I call just so that I could be like, hey, I called. Can I have $20? And when I called them, they didn't have any beds. And they said, we have this new form of treatment that we're about to roll out called neuroelectric therapy. If you're interested, do the application and sign up. And I was like, cool, whatever, bro. So I did the application and went on a huge bender that weekend. Well, Monday morning comes around and they say, hey, you've been accepted to do this new form of treatment. And if you want to come, you need to come now. But you're going to be filmed the entire time that you're in treatment. And I was like, so I get to be a movie star? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I'm in there, bro. Yeah. I was like, I've made it. I was like, this addict's about to be in a movie. Here I come. And so I went to rehab, and they put me on this device. It's called NET. I'm not going to spend too much on it because we could do a whole podcast on it, bro. Basically, it is a device, an alternative measure for withdrawal that sends electrical pulses through the back of your ears. It's non-invasive. It doesn't break your skin. And what the electrical pulses do is it re-stimulates your brain to create natural endorphins like serotonin and dopamine and all these other things. And it basically takes your withdrawals. Let me tell you that I was a heroin and meth junkie for 13 years, doing $400 of dope a day. And I plugged this device on and had 0 withdrawals. No nausea, no diarrhea, no throw up. I was sleeping that night, eating the next morning. I felt like an alien. And it worked. I ended up getting sober, bro. And like to this day, I still am like weary about it, but it worked. So it's been used since 1972 in Europe. It's still being used today. The issue is that the federal government in the United States will not approve it because they would lose money in the maintenance programs. And I have nothing against maintenance. I'm a huge proponent for any path of recovery. Everyone's recovery looks different. If it works, it works. And I'm cool with it as long as you're not hurting yourself. And so they won't approve it because of money. We are still actually currently using it at the Isaiah House right now. But so I get sober and I'm in a movie. It's called The Final Fix. It was on Amazon Prime for 2 years. They just took it down and filmed a follow-up film. It should be released hopefully by September of this year. And reach out to me. I'll help you if y'all want to see it. It's kind of amazing to see, honestly.
I would like to see it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I have a personal copy, so I can send you something if you want to watch it.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. For real.
It's honestly dope. And like I said, I could spend a whole hour on it, but that's just what got me sober. And I'm blessed that I made that phone call on that day. Just so happened to be where my mom sent me. And that was my first God moment. I was like, okay, something's working in my favor, or this would not have aligned the way it did. So I get out of treatment after 28 days and I made the wonderful decision to come home because I thought that was the smartest idea. Right. And what I didn't tell you is that while I was homeless, I was on the run for Fayette County for 3 felony warrants. Engaging in organized crime, receiving stolen property over 10 grand, theft by unlawful taking over 10 grand, cold checks, fraudulent use of a credit card, identity theft, you name it, bro. Like I had got it and I was on the run. And I made the wonderful decision to hide out in Nicholasville, Kentucky, because I thought Fayette County wouldn't be that good. So I hid out in Jessamine County. If any of y'all know Jessamine County, the worst decision I could have done. So I get home from treatment 28 days, and 2 days after I get home, I get a knock at the door, and it's the detective, and they lock me up in Fayette County. I'm facing 25 years, 2 Class B felonies, a Class D felony, and a whole bunch of misdemeanors. And so they locked me up, and I'm in there for 9 months. And while I'm locked up, waiting for all this to kind of, work its magic and, get sentenced and all that, a lot of the people I got organized crime with, if y'all know anything about organized crime, it's got to be 4 or more people. There was 5 of us in this, thing. And while I was locked up, 3 of them overdosed and died. Rest their soul. Those are my homies. I know, people say like the people you got high with aren't really your good friends, but they were there for me in a dark time in my life. And I don't know if I would be where I'm at today if it wasn't for them. I don't like the fact that some people have to die. But while I was locked up, they overdosed and they could not charge me with organized crime because there was no longer 5 of us. Right. So when I went to sentencing, they amended everything down to a Class A misdemeanor and gave me a year in county. And when I got out of jail, Judge Scorsoni in Lexington, he said, you have 2 options. He said, you can either do long-term treatment at either the Hope Center or Journey Pure, or you can do Fayette County Drug Court. And I was like, well, hey, I've already done drug court once. So, hey, let's do it again.
Do it again. Yeah.
So I did Fayette County Drug Court for the second time. Exactly 10 years later, bro. I was 19 when I did drug court the first time, listened to nothing. 10 years later, I'm now 29. And everything I heard when I was 19, I was that person now. I was like, damn, I should have listened 10 years ago. So I'm in Fayette County Drug Court, and this is kind of where my life starts to get better. Here's where these solutions come in. Treatment worked for me. Jail worked for me. I had to be forced to go to these meetings. I had to be forced to go to treatment. I know a lot of people want to complain about Casey law or that they're forced by the courts. Hell, if I was not forced, I would not be here. Yeah. So I give kudos to the drug court systems and to these Casey laws. It really does save people if you want it. So here's where our life starts to get good, right? So I'm now 29 years old. I'm in Fayette County Drug Court for the second time, and like am changing everything. They said, change everything about your life. So I used to wash my hair first in the shower, and now I'm washing my hair last in the shower. I used to put my right shoe on first. Now I'm putting my left shoe on. I'm doing things different because someone said do something different. And I was like, all right. So I took that pretty literal. Hold on. This dog's chewing. All right. And I took it pretty literal. And they forced me to go to meetings, and I go to AA meetings. And I end up going to a sober living house in Lexington called the Johnson House. Awesome house. It's ran by Patrick Parks out of Richmond. And he does CR over at Eastside Community Church, and awesome guy. My mom stayed in contact with him the whole time I was in jail for that year, and he saved me a bed, man. And so I went there, and it's on 7th Street in Lexington.
7th
So
Street.
you know anything about 7th Street, right? Here I am, like preppy
That was
little
my
white
favorite
boy,
street.
and yeah, right. Just got sober, just got out of jail doing a year, and I'm living on 7th Street. I was like, well, I said, God's pretty funny, bro. And so at this house, they require us to do AA. Drug court requires us to do meetings. And so I start going to AA, man, and I start doing something different. I get a sponsor. My sponsor's name's TC, and he's awesome. He just celebrated 7 years, and my grand sponsor, Polly, just celebrated, I think, 9 or 10. He's right there. And then my great grand sponsor just celebrated 13. So, like, there's a lineage there, right? Like, I know my sponsor. And that's cool in this recovery community. So I started going to meetings. I started hearing things, and they say work the steps. And I was like, you know what? The first time I thought it was a cult, and I forged every single signature, but let's do something different. So I started going to meetings. I start feeling the spirit again. And I start seeing, I had all these resentments towards God growing up, but I knew that I believed that it worked for you. And that's all it had to start with is I said, okay, I believe you believe. And if you believe, it must be working because you're still sober. And that's how it started for me. And I slowly started reading the Bible. I slowly started to get this connection with my higher power. And it was a totally different connection than when I was raised. It was real this time. It was my choice. It wasn't forced. I got to make this relationship. My God was something totally different than the God that I was raised to know. My God's forgiving, not damned. And that's just how it worked for me. So here's the heart wrencher for all you family folks out there. Okay. So me, my brother, and my father are all recovering alcoholics and addicts. It ran in our family. My mom is not one of us. So at 15 months sober, I get my peer support license through NAMI of Lexington. Drug court helped me get it. And I'm ready to start helping people, man. I was like, I've worked these 12 steps. I want to start helping people. This stuff is real. It works. It's not a cult. It is a moment by moment thing. And I knew it was working. So I get my peer support license, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm ready to start helping people. And my sponsor, I'm like, I'm ready to start helping people. And he said, hold up, push on the brakes a second. And he said, if your car is dead on the side of the road, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I'd probably try to jump the car if it's dead, right? Like get some jumper cables, jump the car. He was like, yeah, that's pretty smart. He was like, so would you jump your car with another dead car? And I was like, well, no, bro, that's stupid. Like that wouldn't work, right? Dead car, there ain't no power there. He said, exactly, Rob. He said, so why are you trying to charge your spirit with people that are spiritually dead? And I was like, dang. I was like, so I'm inviting these people right in my life. And he was like, just let God work his magic. So March 2020, COVID-19 hit, right? The whole world shut down. And I was like heartbroken, bro. No one wanted to hire anybody. I couldn't really help anybody. I mean, I helped people at meetings, but like I really wanted to get involved in this recovery field. And so in May, mind you, what I talked about earlier, my mom and dad got divorced when I was 17. I did not speak to my father from the time I was 17 until the time I'm now 30. So 13 years we didn't speak. And in May of 2020, I get a phone call from my aunt. She's like, hey, your dad's on his deathbed. He's fallen. He can't get up. You might want to go see him. he might not have long. And my first reaction was like, why are you calling me?
Yeah.
I've not spoke to this man for 13 years. He left his family. He doesn't like who I am as a person. Why are you calling me? Like, what can I do? So,
Right.
I called my sponsor, right? And he said, Rob, what's step 12? And I said, upon having a spiritual awakening, we help the next suffering alcoholic, whether it's friend, stranger, family. And he said, yeah, you've been praying to help somebody. Here's your opportunity.
Wow.
It's like, all right, bro.
Wow.
So I get some of my guys together and we go to this house over on Ohio Street in Lexington. And I walk into this house and the man I see is not the man I knew. Skin and bones, 62 years old. He had fallen and couldn't get up. He was sleeping in his own piss and feces, exactly where I was not even a year and a half ago. And so I sat down on this couch, man, and I looked at my dad and I said, I don't know you and you don't know me, but you're dying and you need help. And the connection between us, when we looked at each other, I really can't explain it, but he got on the ambulance and he went to the hospital. So every day for 3 weeks, I went to go see my dad in the hospital. I had no idea what to talk about. I had not seen this man in 13 years. I was still resentful as hell to him. I had worked a 4-step on him, but I was still holding on to it a little bit. And so I just started telling him about treatment. I started telling him about the Isaiah House. I started telling him about AA. I started telling him about the Johnson House and all these avenues that started to help me be a better person. And we started to build this connection. And right before 2 days before discharge, he said, I want to go to the Isaiah House. And I was like, all right. So I'm not working there at the time. I work for Isaiah House now, but I wasn't working there at the time. So I get him a bed and I take him to treatment. And when I get down there, Mark LaPalme, who runs Isaiah House, sees me and he's like, hey, man, I really want you to come work here. And I was like, well, I'm in drug court. I can't drive to Willisburg every day. And he said, well, we're opening a women's center in Versailles, and I really think you would do good there. And that's how my journey started into recovery. I wasn't looking, it came to me because it's his time, not my time.
And he was also helping your dad. I mean, if you really want to think about it, man, your sponsor
dude, and
said,
so here's where it all comes to fruition, right? So 90 days later, my dad calls me. He's like, hey, I'm completing 90 days. I'm going to sober living. I was like, all right, man, which sober living you going to? And he's like, the Johnson House. And I was like, what? I was like, I just left there. Like, I just lived there for 13 months. So I picked him up and we're on our way home. And he looks at me and he said, I just want to tell you I'm sorry. And I said, for what? He said, I didn't leave the family because you were gay, and I didn't give up because anything you did. He said, I left the family because I was a struggling alcoholic and addict, and I couldn't take care of my kids. And he was like, I was embarrassed. And so I spent 13 years selfish AF, saying, me. He left because of me. And in reality, he was just like me, right?
Amen.
We suffered the same disease. And we built a friendship, right? So today my dad is a little over 2 years sober.
Awesome.
We have a relationship today. We go to church today. My brother is also sober. He just celebrated a little over 2 years as well. And we all three got sober, man. And that's what this program is about, is like, I shared the message with my dad, who I did not like, but he heard something and he made that decision to go. Just like you were saying earlier, man, just that one word can help somebody change their whole mindset. Just because something bad happens doesn't mean you have a bad day. You just had a bad moment. You can restart your day at any point. And it took me a long time to understand that, like, the way that I viewed things was sick. Like, I was a sick person. And it wasn't that I was a bad person. I was just sick. And I didn't know what to do. But that first step was asking for help. And I was scared because people left me in my past. I struggled with acceptance. I struggled with people not accepting who I was. And I struggled with all these things. So my dad gets sober. He's doing good. And this is where my life is today, man. So today, I'm 3 years sober. I work a solid AA program. I work AA. It's just what I did when I went to sober living. And I have sponsees. I have 3 sponsees. One just celebrated a year last week. And I work a program every single day. I work at the Isaiah House Women's Center. I've been there for a little over 2 years. I'm the case manager there, so help women with legal issues and DCBS issues and anything that they need to get their, life back in order. And I go to church today, like an actual church who accepts me for who I am. And I work a spiritual program. There's a couple things that really helped me get sober. And you could say they're like your one-liners, how you live your life. I don't know, however you want to say them. It's the things that stuck out to me that someone told me, and I've held on to them because it works for me today. First is I'm not a big book thumper. I love the big book. It has definitely got the answers in it. I know one part of the big book, which is my favorite part, right? Page 85 in the big book. All that I truly have is a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of a spiritual condition, which to me means that every day I have the freedom or the choice to maintain or take care of my spiritual condition, whatever that may be. Mine's God, but it doesn't have to be. It can be Taoism. It can be spiritual journeys. It can be the inverse, whatever works for you. But as long as I take care of that every day, I'm going to be okay. The next is you cannot stand next to a shovel and expect the hole to get dug, right? Like I cannot have the tool right next to me, given the tool, here's what you got to use, and just think, oh, it's going to do it itself, right? Like I have to put in the footwork. I have to put in the action. I actually have to do something in order for that hole to come to fruition, right? Which is that gratitude is an action word, right? Like thankfulness isn't an expression, but gratitude's an action. If I'm thankful for something, I'm just going to say, hey, man, like I'm thankful. But if I'm grateful, I'm going to go above and beyond and actually do something. And that worked for me. The spirituality part is real big. Like I lead praise and worship today, and I go to church and I read the Bible, and like I'm just going to keep it real. Like I don't identify when people ask me, they're like, Rob, tell me about yourself. And I'm like, all right, well, I am a grateful follower of Jesus Christ. I'm a bad A male, and I just so happen to be gay. Because my sexuality does not determine who I am as a person.
Nope.
All it is my sexuality, right? Like it's just my choice. At the end of the day, and some people don't get down with that, and I respect it. Listen, if that's what you believe, that's what you believe. But my God loves me, and my God loves people, and I believe that you should love God and love people, period. And if you do that, you're gonna be all right. But I get that all the time, man. They're like, God, like you be singing to like a dead cat to God and talking about him all the time. And like, how do you get down with that? And I'm like, it's a daily journey, right? Like I'm still growing spiritually. I'm still growing in my recovery. And it's just a day by day thing for me. Listen, I take me anywhere. Okay. Like I could get on, I do. Okay. So listen, I do this joke to the girls all the time. It's not really a joke, but it's funny. So 24 hours is a long time. When I used to go to meetings, they would always be like, just for today, just these 24 hours. Listen, 24 hours is a long time. I can do a lot of damage in 24 hours, bro. Like I could get on a plane and go to China and not even speak their language and be like, bang, tang, tang, tang. And like, I would find drugs, right? Like someone would give me drugs. And I could come back in less than 24 hours. But what I'm saying is like, I take me wherever. It doesn't matter. I came back to Lexington, which is where I did all my running. And a lot of people say, don't go back to your hometown. And, but I wanted to face that fear, bro. Like I didn't want that reputation of people saying like he gave up or he lost that battle to addiction, or like, I wanted to be that face that people saw that were like, dang, like I saw you 5 years ago when you were begging for money on the streets, living in a cardboard box, stealing from every store possible. And look at you today, right? Like got that little recovery weight on me a little bit, you know, they say that freshman 15 in college, you got to try the recovery 50. You'll gain about 50 pounds when you first get sober. Man, I'm just so grateful today. Like I'm grateful for you and your platform. Slinging hope every day. I see you out there recovering no matter what. I see Marie out there recovering. I got to give a shout out to a few places just because they're my homies. Like I work for the Isaiah House, but shout out to all my people working at Voices of Hope. Y'all are killing it day in and day out. Shout out to Edgewater up in Moorhead. They're killing it. Shout out to Lake Cumberland. They're killing it. Lighthouse, Sober Living's killing it. Tracy's house in Lexington, up and coming, killing the game. There's just so many resources, man. And, people always tell me like, well, I don't know where to get started. And I'm like, well, you knew where to get started to get your drugs, right? Like, you knew what you had to do. And if you want this way of life, you're going to have to do something different. Not every day is good for me. Listen, I'm a human at the end of the day, right? Like, I have my bad days, but I choose to be upbeat and I choose to be positive. And not even that, I get to do that today. Like I get to wake up at 5:30. And listen, I put my phone under my bed. People always think I'm weird. I'm sure you've heard this before, but I actually do it. So I put my phone under my bed when I sleep. So when my alarm goes off, I have to roll out of bed and I have to literally hit my knees to turn my phone off. And as I'm down there, I go ahead and pray. And sometimes I don't even say anything. Sometimes just like, God, reveal to your plan for the day. Amen. And, but I get to get up, bro. I get to go to these meetings. I get to share my story. I've been that hopeless junkie. I've been locked up in that jail cell. I've been that person selling their body for drugs and feeling nasty and dirty. Like I've been that person. But you don't have to be that person. Like you don't have to stay stuck in that mud. But that mud's comfortable sometimes, right? Like, you know what it feels like. It feels real good. Who wants to change? But get out of that mud, man. Cause like the peace and the joy and the serenity that I have today. Like, I mean, I've met you a couple times, but like, my friends tell me all the time, they're like, Rob, you just exude this joy. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't live in the dark anymore. Like I live in the light and I get to be happy. I don't have to have a bad day. I get to learn every single day and I remain teachable. I'm not perfect. My recovery is not the only way to get sober. I do not have all the answers, but I have just enough answers to let you know that it's worked for 3 years. So I'm doing something right. And I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful that I get to be on this today and hopefully help somebody. If y'all need anything, let me know. We have open beds at the Isaiah House. There are open beds all over Kentucky right now.
Yeah.
Tell me you can't find a bed, because if you can't find it, I guarantee you I find one in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, listen, bro, man, you got an awesome story, and I'm grateful that I got to hear it tonight, man. And I'd like to get you down to the jail too and let you share your story with the inmates down here in Richmond anytime you're free. But what I like about you, man, is you're humble, dude. You're laid back. You're funny, and you carry your story. And and Annie that's on here, man. Listen, Annie, that Rob said it. I'm saying it. There's help available. I don't know what your circumstance is, but she made the comment she threw away 5 years. Listen, in reality, I mean, you've got today, you've got right now. You can make that decision right now and get help. There's all kinds of avenues to get help. But nobody's perfect. But you have to understand or recognize why you turn to alcohol, what is really going on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what is that core issue that is influencing your thought? That influences your emotion, that's influenced that behavior. Because if you don't put it in your hand, you can't get high.
Nope.
Right? So what caused you to put it in your hand to begin with?
Yeah.
You didn't lose anything. You lost a date. Listen, it's just a date. At least it's not a tombstone date, right? Like, at least you ain't gone. It's just a date. You didn't lose your knowledge. You didn't lose your people. If you lost friends, they weren't your friends to begin with. Get around some real people that will tell you about yourself, that will hold you accountable, that will call you on your BS. Listen, I don't know if you know any of my people. Do you know Shanda Dunn?
Yeah.
Listen, a shout out to Shanda. Okay. Listen, that's my best friend in the whole wide world. She going to tell me how it is. She going to keep it real. Right. And those are the people I need. Like, I don't need someone to say, like, it's okay, Rob, you messed up. Like, what did you do?
Yep.
What is your issue? I'm blunt and I'm to the point, but I'm also really funny. Like, I don't see, we need to take it serious. Like I'll keep it real. Like, this is serious. Like, people are dying every day. I've buried so many women over the past few months. I'm sick and tired of going to funerals. I'm sick and tired of signing guest books. I'm sick and tired of people who get on Facebook and they're like, don't share that, anonymity, principles, follow the principles. No, I'm sharing it on Facebook because I may let somebody see that may need that meeting that day, that may not know about it, right? Like, I get the whole attraction and promotion thing, but like, I'm going to promote it. If I'm walking in the grocery store and I'm talking to the clerk, hey, my name's Rob, I'm 3 years sober.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not ashamed by it. Like, it doesn't hold power over me anymore. I don't give it power. It's a part of my past, and it's made me who I am today. And I'm grateful for that. Yeah. Did I mess up? Absolutely. Did I have to do a whole lot of learning from my consequences? Absolutely. But man, like, to get your family back and to have a house and have a car, and it's not even about the materialistic things, but to have the confidence to walk down the street and hold your head up high and
Amen.
just to love yourself again. Like, that's what it's about, man. Like, I love myself today. Defects, flaws, strengths, everything. Like, I'm me, and addiction's part of my story, but it did not break me. It made me who I am today, and I won't let it break me. I'm just going to keep pushing, keep moving forward. As my aunt always says, keep moving forward. Step, even if it's a tiptoe, you're taking the right step in the direction.
Yep. Well, listen, bro, I love you, man. I appreciate you, man. Powerful story. Keep telling your message, man. Don't feed into the negativity, and keep being you.
Yes.
I hope I get to run into you in one of these recovery rallies coming up here soon, man. But if you need me or my wife, man, hit us up. Same, vice versa.
Listen, I already told you, I'm about to call you. Just let me know what day y'all are opening.
I'm super proud of you, man. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on. Love you, bro.
Love you, man.
See you, man. Yes, sir, Rob. Powerful story, man, and downright humble. You know what I'm saying? That is the if you look up peace and freedom, you're going to see Rob's face. And it's stories like that, man, that people go through. And his dad went to treatment, dude. Like, I just lost my dad, a few months ago to an OD, and I didn't know my dad till I turned 18, and missed him for 18 years, But I know today my dad's proud of me, man. Marie's mom, her parents are proud of her. But if you're out there struggling, help's available. There's so many beds, so many resources, so many people willing to help, man. Annie, you're the most important person. I'm grateful. God put you here for a reason. Don't get it twisted. But there's people here willing to walk with you. I don't know what town you're in or what city or nothing like that, man. But we only got today. When you lay down tonight, thank God that you're still alive. And Rob said it. That date is not on your tombstone. And so many people, like relapse is not part of my story, but I deal with so many people, man, and they beat themselves up, and I can't imagine what you're going through. But I just want to say this before we close tonight, man. You're not alone. We put so many phone numbers in these comments, man. We're putting our phone numbers out here in the internet world, social media all over, because our purpose is to help people. Service work is a huge part of mine and my wife's, daily purpose. I mean, we're out here helping people. But Annie, listen, hit anybody up, man. It's not the end of the world. Now, stop beating yourself up. Stop beating yourself up. Those 5 years, listen, you know why the clock don't go backwards? Because it can't go backwards. We can't rewind time. So you got to start over today and get you a plan of action and figure out what you really want to do just for today. We're not promised tomorrow. I may die tonight when I go to sleep. I don't know. But, we love you, and reach out to us. Shout out to Protea Behavior Health Counseling. My wife, the Jasmine House, Richmond, Kentucky. August the 1st, we should be opening it, or she should be opening her house. And I've seen another part of my wife. Like, me and my wife's been together for a long, long time. And I've seen my wife put that shovel, like Rob was talking, put that shovel to work, and I got to witness her putting in the footwork, man. And I have got a bad woman, you hear me? Like she holds me accountable. We all know that. She is the boss. I do carry her purse and everything else. But you know what? To see her finally fulfilling her dream, man, and to help these women. We're going to have a men's homecoming soon. But anyway, long story short, man, if you need help, 859-300-1503. My wife's number, 859-319-4787. Reach out. Listen, I'll be back next Monday, man. Hit the heart button, hit the share button, man. I love you all. Grateful to be back. And let's close this out. We're out of here. Love y'all. Let me find my exit here.
You ain't got cold chill, something's wrong with you. Gotta know it. You in the wrong building. Nowhere to turn.
I could really use a friend right now.
Yeah, I just need a friend.
I'm staring at my window pane.
Staring
at my window pane. I could use a friend. I could use a friend. I just need a friend right now. Right now. I'm staring at my window pane.
I'm counting raindrops. Like, where's God at? When will the pain stop? Like, when will this be over? How come I can't stop? I swear to God, I can't stop. I ain't believing God, still I would pray to him. When no one else around, when they brought them trays to him. Like where my rider dies, it's like I was dead to him. This is my window pane, I view the world.